up in the sky. Look, it's captivating. It's energizing. It's Eliances Heroes. Eliances is the destination for entrepreneurs, investors, CEOs, inventors, leaders, celebrities, and startups, where our heroes in business align. Now, here's your host flying in, David Coen, founder of Eliances.
That's right, and another incredible show where we unlock the secrets of heroes, those that make an impact in their community. We learn so much from, and by the way, too, thank you for the feedback we continue to have from when we had Ancestry.com founder on. So make sure you go to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com, the only place where entrepreneurs align. All right, imagine this. Building a company in one of the most competitive industries that exists, and that's athletic footwear. Our next hero has and built the company AND1, which everybody knows for their famous athletic basketball footwear and apparel company. With that, Coen Gilbert, who could be reached at bcorporation.net. Jay, how do you, and where do we even start with when you come up with the idea? Because everybody, it's just so glamorous. Everybody wants to do something that's cool in the apparel industry, right? Working with all these stars. Not only do you do that, but you do it too on the basketball side, becoming so popular. How do you even break into that industry?
Well, David, first of all, thanks so much for having me on the show. I'm really excited to be here. And, the most important thing about both entrepreneurial ventures for me has been finding great partners who share the vision and share the passion and who are a heck of a lot smarter than I am. And I did that the first time with AND1, with some great friends who are huge basketball fans and tried to do for basketball what Nike had done generally for athletics. And we were trying to create a brand for people with a lot of game. That for their first identity was as a ball player. But the thing I'm most excited about now is my new venture, which is we started an organization that supports B corporations all around the world, which is for entrepreneurs who've got a different kind of game, who are not only winning sort of on the traditional court with their financial performance, but are also winning on the broader court where their businesses are also creating value for all their stakeholders, right? For their workers, for their suppliers, for their customers, for their community, and taking care of the natural environment. So it's also good for future generations. And so just like AND1 was a brand for ball players with game, B Corporation is a brand for businesses with game who are competing not only to be best in the world, but to be best for the world. And that's the brand that I'm most excited about right now.
Definitely. And I want to get more into what B Corporation, again, you could reach them at bcorporation.net and what that is. And before we go into that too, you end up selling AND1. At the point that you sell it and you're done, did you already have bcorporation.net kind of in the wings of something you were going to do, or did you even know what you were going to do next?
Yeah, great question. So first, AND1 was a $250 million brand, but it was next to Nike, the number 2 basketball company in the world, and so super proud of that. The B Corporation idea was sort of gestating during the last couple years at AND1. We had done a lot of really great things at AND1 with our supply chain, with employee ownership, with charitable giving, with our supply chain practices, with our factories all around Asia. But there was a limit to what AND1 could do in that space. And so I wanted to, with my other partner from AND1, Bart Houlihan, create another platform where we could support entrepreneurs who are purpose-driven from day one. And so while the idea was gestating at AND1, the idea really came into full fruition after a couple of years of talking with hundreds of entrepreneurs all across the country and around the world, and investors who are looking to invest in those companies and trying to figure out what they needed to scale these game-changing businesses.
Now, what size does a company have to be in order to qualify for becoming a B Corporation?
So, yeah, great question. So there are startups and there are publicly traded companies. There are companies that are sole proprietors, and there are companies with 100,000 employees. And so the issue isn't how big you are or what industry you're in. It's about what's the purpose of your business, and are you using your business as a force for good? Not only good for your shareholders, but good for your workers, your community, and the environment.
I love it. And Eliances is a force for good because you're listening to me, David Coen, host of the Eliances Hero Show. Make sure you go to Eliances.com. That's ELIANCES.com, the only place where entrepreneurs align. And we have Coen Gilbert, co-founder and CEO of B-Lab, and it was also co-founder and CEO of AND1. That's right. You could reach him at bcorporation.net. Now, Jay, you're also a contributor writer for Forbes. You're on a number of boards for schools and investor networks. Tell us a little bit more about that. And you also, too, you take sabbaticals and stuff. Tell us how that incorporates into really being able to do it all. Because you know what? A number of people, they don't even think of a sabbatical, let alone taking a weekend off.
Right. Well, I've the main thing I want to be is completely used up when I'm done, and I had both my parents passed at a relatively early age, and so I've had a sort of a fierce urgency of now to get some stuff done that was also worthy of the gifts that they were giving me, and also would make my kids proud of the life that their dad lived. And so I've got a lot of motivation to work my butt off, and a lot of joy in being able to do it with my best friends for the last 25 years, first at AND1 and now at B-Lab. The best unsolicited advice I ever got was when we were getting ready to sell AND1. I was out to lunch with a relatively new acquaintance who said, "Look, you didn't ask for this advice, but I hear that you said you want to take off a month or two before you start your new gig, and I want to let you know that if you can take off longer than you think you can and stay uncommitted while you're gone, I think you're going to be in a much better place because you'll know for sure what you want to come back to if you want to come back." And so even though the B Corp idea had been gestating for a little bit beforehand, I put it on hold and turned a 2-month family trip over the summer into a year-long family sabbatical down under in Australia, New Zealand, and then living in Costa Rica up in the cloud forest. And it was the single best experience our family's ever had, and really powerful for me, so that I knew when I came back that I was coming back for the right reasons and doing exactly what it is that would feel of highest and best use for whatever time I had left.
Wow.
And that was starting B-Lab with 2 of my closest friends in the world, doing something that we thought would matter, that would uplift other entrepreneurs, so they could be their best selves and contribute to their highest and best use in the world, and then do something really special together as a community that none of us could do alone.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now, tell me how specifically, can you share with us some of the companies that are B corporations now?
Sure. Some of the ones that folks would know more would be the consumer products companies like Patagonia or Ben & Jerry's or Athleta. And then there are also, large manufacturers like Cascade Engineering in the Midwest or Solberg Manufacturing, like 3rd or 4th generation family businesses. There are technology companies that are raising hundreds of millions of dollars, like Lemonade, that are disrupting the insurance industry, or folks in biotech and pharmaceuticals. And so it really spans the globe and spans the industries. There are B Corps in about 70 different countries and across about 160 different industries. But the ones that people know the most are obviously the consumer products companies like Patagonia, Ben & Jerry's, Eileen Fisher,
Sure.
Et cetera, that type of stuff.
Incredible. Now, you also, too, mentioned about your children and stuff. What secrets, though, do you have for young adults that are considering a business career of really how they can make a difference like you've done and continue to do?
So it's a great question. One of the greatest joys I've had is for the last 12 years, I've co-taught a high school class called Business in the Good Society out of the religion department of a school called the Westtown School outside of Philadelphia. And that course focuses on helping kids think first and foremost about what lights them on fire. What are the issues they care about? What are the problems they want to solve? What are their interests, hobbies, and passions? And start there, and then figure out how you might create a business that allows you to use one of your passions to solve one of the problems that you care the most about. And so Yvon Chouinard, the founder of Patagonia, was passionate about the outdoors and rock climbing, and therefore was passionate about solving the environmental crisis, because he wanted to have public lands and a natural world on which that he could enjoy. And he combined those things to create Patagonia. Ben Coen and Jerry Greenfield, loved ice cream, and they were passionate about social justice.
Right.
And they created Ben and Jerry's. And so I think the most important thing that I tell young people is don't get caught up on learning the skills of business. You'll learn those as much by doing as by studying them. But no one can teach you what you're passionate about. And you've got to spend the time thinking about what it is that makes you come alive, and then go follow that, because there's nothing that's going to take up more of your time and be all-consuming than being an entrepreneur. You're going to work, 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, 400 days a year, and your idea is going to have to change 17 times if you're going to be responsive to the market, and you're going to be humble enough to listen to what the world is telling you. But your North Star has to be what you're passionate about and a problem that's worthy of your time and talent. And if you can do that, that's your North Star. Everything else, you're going to learn along the way to solve a problem that you care about.
That's right. Well, thank you, too, to Conscious Capitalism for nominating you to be on the Hero Show. Jay, you definitely have a passion, and you've made a better way for business and working to encourage all in business to use it for a force for good. That's a hero. J. Coen Gilbert can be reached at bcorporation.net. And when we return, we're going to have the advisor to the last 3 sitting U.S. presidents. This is David Kogan with Eliances.